So yeah, I'm not expecting too many surprises on this stream. I think they've kind of been tempering expectations a little bit. It seems like they're going to do like we're going to look at the teams working on these 4 projects, and that's it. This isn't going to be your kind of typical E3-ish kind of stream where there's like surprises and announcements and coming in 2027. It's Starfield 2. Please be excited. They're not going to do that. But I hope, since it's just they've been like, here's the 4 things we're looking at, and that's all we're looking at. It's these 4 things. I'm hoping that since that's the case, that we're going to get a little bit of a deep dive on these games. Hellblade 2 has been announced long enough that I feel like, and they've shown little bits of it, but I feel like it's time to show a good bit of that, and I think it's time to have a release date for it. They've said 2024, but nothing specific on that. Likewise, the Indiana Jones game. I'm not big into Indiana Jones, but Machine Games are making that game, and they made the most recent Wolfenstein games, which I loved. So kind of similar to Alan Wake 2. I wasn't a big Alan Wake guy, but because Remedy were making it, I was hyped. I'm hyped to see the next thing Machine Games do. You know what I mean? So I hope we see a good bit of Indiana Jones. Yeah, Hellblade 2 first shown in 2019. And then it disappeared until last Summer Games Fest, I believe. Like, we had about 3 or 4 years of silence there. Let me know how the audio is if you want any enhancements, or higher or lower. I think this stream audio sounds a bit low. Also, this time last year is when they shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush, which was awesome and ended up being one of the best games of the year. So I don't think they'll do another shadow drop. Could be a little higher. I mean, they could shadow drop Hi-Fi Rush on Switch. Now, that would be a hilarious announcement if they confirm that story on this stream. Kicking off with Avowed from Obsidian, makers of Fallout New Vegas. Playthrough currently in progress over on youtube.com/@thebarrylad.
Welcome to Obsidian Entertainment. I'm so proud to share with you our upcoming fantasy action RPG, Avowed. Avowed is an adventure into the heart of the living lands, a frontier at the edge of the known world, where you must put a stop to a mysterious spiritual plague and discover a secret at the heart of the living lands.
Indiana Jones last. Yeah, probably.
We love creating worlds with deep themes, dynamic gameplay, and thoughtful reactivity.
I mean, biggest IP, but also like
we set out to blend the believable and
Machine Games. That's a headliner team, I think.
An experience like no other. It's colorful, it's vibrant, it's strange. It's one of the most incredible settings in the world of Aora. There's going to be a lot of great secrets to discover, one of which has a really personal connection to you as the player character, and you're going to have a great time getting to know those secrets and leaving your mark on the world. And when it comes to encounters, our combat brings the best of the moment-to-moment fun that comes with action-oriented gameplay and the depth and breadth of choice that you get with an RPG. Here to talk more about Avowed's combat.
When they first showed this game, everyone was like, "Oh, they're doing to Skyrim what they did to Fallout with New Vegas."
Is to empower
to be honest, that sounds
choice.
like a cool,
So
cool
we've developed
pitch.
a flexible combat system that allows you to quickly swap from spellcasting and sharpshooting to melee combat. We want to give you the freedom to mix and match your loadout to fit the way you want to play.
I mean, those are
from moment
geckos
to
right there.
moment,
Come on now.
uninterrupted. For all battles, you can combine a variety of weapons, attacks, and abilities for tactical advantages against a wide range of enemy types. It's not just hacking and slashing. You're making real-time decisions about when to use your abilities, powerful melee attacks, blocks, parries, and special attacks. If you choose to approach combat with a one-handed wand, it feels quick and snappy when dealing damage to enemies at mid-range. Using the Tanglefoot ability, you can stop enemies in their tracks, giving you the opportunity to focus on weaker or tougher combatants in an intentional and controlled manner. It's important to pay attention to the types of enemies you're dealing with. Some units are extremely defensive, some are brutishly
See, it's all this lizard
and
race
others
you seem
must
to be
make sure you
battling.
prioritize, or their healing capabilities will put you in a tough spot. To help with the different encounters you will face, we provide customizable loadouts that can be quickly switched during combat. That means you can play however you want. Equip a sword and shield and charge into battle. Dual-wield pistols
Can you
and
talk
control
your way
the
out of
encounter
problems?
mid-range.
I like to solve my problems with my
Or
words.
even dual-wield wands to feel like a gunslinging mage. You could use your
That was
enchanted
dual wielding
wand to freeze
wands is pretty
enemies,
cool. It looks
and
like
then
something
use
from
your
Harry Potter,
offhand
except
weapon's
not
power
lame.
attack to shatter them. We've worked hard to keep you constantly engaged as battles unfold.
Like, what if
by
there were
creating a
Chads in
balance
Harry
between
Potter?
Pressure and manageability during combat.
Players will have ample choices for how to build and progress their envoy in the world of the living lands as they get to know the game and the story and explore the many diverse regions. Some quests in Avowed will have you make difficult decisions with
Here we go.
profound consequences.
Yes.
Like this side quest you may encounter in Shatterscarp.
Characters
the
will
third
remember
region
that.
You'll explore on your journey through the living lands. As you're exploring, you come across the bodies of these fallen soldiers. And as you explore the remains of the battle, it's up to you to determine who, if anyone, is at fault.
Just the four of us. Manu, Kiri,
Mitch.
now Keith.
Microsoft are one of the last companies, they just have not
Trying to
bothered with the
recap
VR.
everything.
Well, actually, that's not true. On PC, they've
Trying to
done
keep
mixed
the
reality.
Reborn safe.
Xbox seems to have no
In
interest.
other
Like,
words, you're a gang of vigilantes. Not that I'm one.
although I've mentioned this before on stream, as I'm playing Cyberpunk currently, I'm
bags.
kind of thinking,
Take everyone's.
this would be fucking sick in VR, man. I don't even have a VR headset that could play Cyberpunk on it,
Making
but
the right choice isn't always what it seems.
it would be cool.
We embrace moral nuance and gray areas.
Oh, hell
Trusting
yeah. Let's
players
get
to
some
make
both
tough decisions
sidesism going in
complicated
here.
Situations.
My squad and I rested in the cave by the water last night, and as we were sleeping, we were ambushed by those miserable Zorips. I was so surprised, and it was so dark. I just got separated from everyone else. Look, I can't face those monsters alone, but I have to know if anyone else made it out. Of course he did. Sergeant Asui never has a thought he won't say out loud. So what did he tell you? That Captain Ruiki was sick? That I was paranoid? That I was a dumb baby? I heard it all often and loudly. Wait, if you found Sergeant Asui, why is he not here with you? What happened?
At the end of the
When
quest,
was the
you have a
last turn-based
choice.
game
When
they
you
did?
confront Private Naoki, if you believe the story he's told you, you can hand over the badges and let him go back home.
You're right. Real battle isn't something you can prepare for, is it? It's not my fault. No, they should have never have camped in the cave. I'll take the badges.
City in such a weird studio
Going
because
back
they've
to
like,
Third Born.
But if
I
you
assume they're
confront him,
split into
if you
different
believe that
teams
he
because they
fled the
also
site of
put
the
out,
battle as an act of cowardice, then he might challenge you to a fight to reclaim his honor.
what was that
Either way,
side-scrolling
when you
game like
return to
last
town,
year?
you'll see the
Pentiment, or the year
consequences
before.
of your actions and the choices you made during this quest.
Pillars of Eternity. That's it,
Creating
yeah.
an immersive experience
They
like
did that,
Avowed
they've done
is
Pentiment,
anchored
they've
in
done the
world
Outer
we built.
Worlds.
Art director Matt Hansen and the team
I assume
have
they're
worked to
divided into
create a
different teams
unique,
at this stage. There's no
colorful,
way they're,
and dynamic
no
visual
way one
style.
team's turning out all.
From the outset, we knew that we wanted Avowed setting.
Did they do
to
the Stick of
feel
Truth?
rich,
Oh, they did.
weird, and
I like that
wonderful.
game.
We found
I never got around to the
inspiration
second
in a
one.
wide swath of real-world cultures, helping us create a unique RPG experience. By contrasting the vibrant with the dull, or verdant spaces with sickly ones, we can better deliver complex emotional experiences.
Yeah, I heard good
for
things
our
about the second
players.
one.
The Living Lands is a continent of untamed valleys with widely varied biomes, from luxuriant
I'm a
forests
bit of a
to
Philistine
volcanic
when it
wastes,
comes to
and
this
each
kind of
those
high
regions
fantasy
itself is a
setting. This
conflict
looks
with
really
storied
good.
landscapes.
Like,
All of the regions
it all
have
blurs
a
together
lot
to
of
me.
special
I mean, you
things
can go back and
associated
watch
with
some of
them,
the Summer
but I
Games
have a
Fest
deep
streams.
place in
I'm
my
on there
heart for
scoffing at
Shatterscarp.
Baldur's Gate 3 because I didn't know what it
As
was.
you're wandering the
And I was
wastes
like,
of Shatterscarp, you
Elves
might
and
notice off in
swords
the
fighting
distance
lizards in a
vibrant
cave,
jewel of
whatever, and then
color.
it came out and I really
By
enjoyed it. Like,
transitioning from destitute,
this stuff is a tough
muted
sell to me
tones
personally.
of a
It kind
wasteland
of washes over
sand
me a little bit.
and marching in towards a beautiful oasis. There's the opportunity there for life, for adventure, and even a little danger.
Like, when you see people
We hope
complain
you
about
enjoyed
like
this
gray
look at Avowed.
military games,
We're
or they all
thrilled
look
to
the
share
same.
more
Like,
about
oh,
the
how can you
game
tell
and
Call of
coming
Duty
ups,
apart from
and we
Battlefield
can't wait
17?
for you to
That's me
explore
with
the
this.
living lands
I'm
when
kind of
Avowed
like,
launches this fall.
it is me being a Philistine, but show me this footage out of context in 6 months. I won't be able to tell you it's from this game. You know what I mean? I mean, it looks like an Obsidian game. You know, it looks like you know, different combat styles, approach it your own way, side quests, NPCs, make decisions. Fall 2024. That's autumn to the rest of us. And of course, that is going to be a Game Pass Day 1 joint. Because Microsoft owns them. Oh, is this the same universe as Pillars? I didn't know that. I think I've never touched a Pillars game. I that is so not my type of thing. Although I have always been a bit curious about it. All right, Ninja Theory, let's go. I'm assuming they're going to show off their like facial capture tech.
I'm Don Matthews, studio head here.
Which was insane 5 years ago for the last game. I imagine this is going to be even more insane.
Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and the
Final
team
months,
is working hard to bring you an unforgettable journey into Senua's unique world and her battle for survival, where we have once again combined high fidelity and immersive presentation with a shorter, narrative-led experience that focuses on the things that we really care about, and that we hope you care about too.
Shorter would be good. I love that first game. It was a smidge too long, and the combat was too basic for how much of it they made you do. That game is kind of a walking simulator with like 8 hours of combat stuck in the middle of it.
At their source, in Iceland. But not just her quest has changed. Senua herself has grown since the first Hellblade. She's made peace with her past and is no longer in such fear of her visions and voices. While the Furies are still her constant companions, she encounters new
Very
people
primitive,
along
and the
way,
combat doesn't
some
evolve
of
from the
which will
beginning of the
value
game to
her
the end of it.
perspective, and others
I
will
love
reject it.
that game, but
Little by little,
that is a huge flaw in it.
this settlement.
That first Hellblade game, man, if you have not played that and you are into kind of like narrative kind of focused,
In the game,
games.
Senua arrives in 10th century Iceland on the
it
trail
is
of
fucking
the
incredible.
Vikings
Play
who
it on
have
your
been
most
enslaving her
powerful
people.
system on your biggest
In the
screen
story, we're
with your
trying to
best
be as
headphones on.
faithful to history as we can
Man,
up to a point,
first Hellblade game is so
establishing
fucking
a
good.
solid framework and then building more surreal elements on top. Senua will face up to giants who have plunged the land into chaos, and which in turn has seen the rise of the Droiga, a violent threat that has swept through the settlements that she'll discover.
Obviously, this looks incredible.
Senua will make new enemies.
And as I was saying earlier,
and
that
also
first
new
game, the
allies
facial capture
who will
tech,
come to see her
like
unique
bleeding edge
perspective as a
stuff that
beacon
still
of
looks
hope.
great.
And she'll discover along with us how this viewpoint can have its advantages.
Man, I'm assuming this is X and S only, no Xbox One.
A sign.
Senua is a Celtic warrior who experiences psychosis, seeing things that other people don't, hearing voices, and having unique beliefs about the world around her. To bring Senua's perspective of the world to life in a truthful way, we have once again worked closely with Professor Paul Fletcher at the University of Cambridge, as well as people with lived experience of psychosis.
In the bonus features of the first game, you can see them doing like focus groups with
Players will find themselves
with
traversing
people.
beautiful and hostile environments,
it's really interesting.
seeking answers from patterns and signs that Senua sees in her own unique way, and battling through encounters with enemies that will push Senua to her limits.
First game had a load of FMV integration. I'd be very interested to see if they stick with that for the second. It was great. It was fucking great, but
On Saga, we've taken everything to the next level. With a new motion capture space, a bigger stage team, a stunt crew, and a new cast.
We spent a lot of time planning the motion capture shoots, thinking of what.
yeah, she was
events
Senua
would
in
be
the
good
first game, and
to
I believe the
bring
story
into
goes that they
this
put her in
fight.
that spot
How
just
can
to
we make
test
this
the
fight
equipment
feel
or
different from
something.
the previous fight?
And she was great, so they
all
kept
new
her in the
combat
role, and she
features
won a
you
shit ton of awards, obviously, for it. She was fucking amazing in
One of
that
our
first
key
game.
goals was the ability to actually tell a story throughout it. It does feel very different from the first game, but it's very brutal and you're very invested in it. Senua isn't a superhero. She's fighting for survival, and we want the player to feel her struggle in every step of her journey. We want the player to always feel like they just scraped through, just survived it.
Mel knows Senua better than anyone, better than I do. her instincts are amazing, and she really doesn't need much help from me. On stage, our main focus is storytelling. So I get to watch the actors and see all the beautiful expressions on their faces. And then I have to wait a little while, and then I get to see that all again in-game, in costume, on location, everything. It's a great experience, a great process.
Every discipline in the studio is unified in achieving a deep level of immersion
Man,
to help
good.
suspend your
This looks
disbelief
really
and
good.
pull you into Senua's story. We were lucky enough to do a few reference gathering trips in Iceland. You have to be there. The sense of scale, everything is incredible. And you see a scene or you see a small section of the game and you're like, yeah, that works, that's amazing.
Senua experiences reality differently, and a part of this manifests in the voices she hears.
She will collapse. She will collapse.
These voices come to life through binaural audio, which provides a good representation of this type of auditory hallucinations. As we focus in immersion, binaural audio is perfect for this because through headphones, you surround yourself in a three-dimensional space. In the first game, we only applied to the voices that Senua listens in her head. In this game, through spatial audio technology and some extra little things within the game, there is music that is binaural. Every single sound has the potential to be binaural, so everything is spatialized around you, and it's a very
The voice stuff in the
experience.
first game was really cool. But as you said, it is limited to the voices and not any
Music
other
is a
audio.
strange language in the sense that it speaks to our emotions fast and deep. It's not only about quality, it's about personality. So when you listen to Hellblade, you know it's Hellblade. On the music, we are working with Heilung, which for me is a personal privilege because I really admire them. We feel their craft, their depth, their meaning in the
I missed
music.
this at the
It
Game
really
Awards. I knew I should have watched the
connects with
Game Awards.
and elevate it to something really special. We are also working with a heavy metal singer, throat singers, and our very own Furies. They sing so beautiful, and we add that binaural touch of music. So this all creates a very immersive and a very special and unique experience.
Obviously, that
mission
first
here at
game is
Indy
obviously on
Theory
Game
is
Pass,
to
and it's always on
craft
sale on
life-changing
PlayStation
art
and
with
PC.
game-changing
Couple
tech.
of quid.
And that's our aim in Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, is to not only
Fucking hate
see
Hellblade
where
as a name
Senua
though. It
goes
sounds like a
next,
fake
but to
knockoff
deliver something
Devil May
really
Cry game.
meaningful for our players.
My hope is that they will really connect to Senua as a character, and even if they can't really relate to what she's going through, maybe they know someone that relates to that character and they can then understand that person better.
Well, I don't want to sound cheesy, but in a way I'm Senua, right? She exists and doesn't. It exists through all of our work, through every ninja. So we all are Senua.
It is funny that this is the studio that did, you know, maligned character action games.
So that makes it real.
And now they pivoted from that into making Hellblade, and now they are the bleeding edge visual audio tech studio. Do you know what I mean? Like, fair play to them. They found something that suits them better than what they were doing, you know?
Thinking and feeling. From our combat gameplay through to our action set pieces, from our cinematic scenes to our puzzle solving.
Got the game for £3 on Steam? Hell yeah.
In service
Fucking
of
bargain.
Senua's journey. A journey that you can embark on May 21st.
Let's go. All right. May 21st. That is, Jesus Christ, we're nearly into February already. Like that's 4 months away. Wow. Right, in May, I'm seeing Bruce Springsteen and I'm playing Hellblade 2. Years of build-up culminating in May. Uh-oh, we got a surprise. Let's fucking go. Redfall 2. A Square. Okay. Sleeping Dogs 2. You asked for it. Please be Sleeping Dogs 2. I'm trying to think of another thing I like that Square made. Oh dear.
Greetings, Xbox players. My name is Masaru Oyamada, producer for the Mana
Oh, from the Mana
series
series.
here at
Okay.
Square Enix. 聖剣伝説 Visions of Mana の情報を Xbox ユーザーの皆さんにいち早くお伝えできる機会をいただけて大変光栄です。コンソールゲームとしては約17年ぶりとなる聖剣伝説シリーズの完全新作。
Not gonna pretend I know anything about these games. I'll be real.
1991年にファイナルファンタジー外伝として誕生して以降、マナと聖剣をめぐって描かれる愛をテーマに、個性豊かなキャラクターたち、心に響く楽曲の数々、武器の特性を生かして戦うアクション RPG としてこれまでに17作発売され、長らく愛され
I was just about to say there's a lot of mana games, and they're proving my point here. God damn, that's a lot of mana.
となるため、これまで培われてきた聖剣伝説としての世界をしっかり感じられるものを目指して
And people seem to really like that franchise. I'm not commenting one way or the other. It's not my. Well, I don't know if it is or isn't my wheelhouse. I've never partaken.
シリーズおなじみのモンスターたちも本作に登場しています。
Oh, if they announced we're bringing every mana game to Game Pass, people would go crazy for that. That would sell some Xboxes. I'm not even joking. I assume they've all been like remastered, repackaged, ported forward a couple of times. That's an assumption.
Hello, I am Koichi Shi from Gretz. I am so happy to introduce the newest
His
game
leather jacket
in the
absolutely
Mana
rocks, man.
series to Xbox players. 初期の頃からシリーズ作品に登場しているモンスターたちは私が考案したものですが、中には小学生の頃
Xbox does put in the work to get this stuff, especially they will never give up on like getting Japanese IP and popular series from Japan, because they had the reputation for so long of nobody gives a fuck in Japan about Xbox because they don't have any notable franchises. And instead of giving up, Phil Spencer will never stop trying to just. He's like, look, we're getting JRPGs, we're getting Japanese action games. Please buy an Xbox. Please buy an Xbox. I respect it. Never give up. Like I've read about it in the past. Like people also theorize that on top of the lack of Japanese IP, there's also like a culturally ingrained thing where it's like there's so many institutions that make games in Japan, and then Microsoft is the big American company. You know, I don't know if there's any truth to that. Your cousin had a 360. Has he bought one post 360? The sales figures tell me no. This looks.
新たな仲間を考えるにあたっては、今作のマスコットキャラクターになるくらい可愛い動物にしたいという漠然とした思いがありました。その上で、ヨークシャテリアの毛並み、見た目はある
PS5 is too big for my house. In monstrosity. One of the greatest ribs in modern gaming is that PS5 Slim. By what metric, brother? It's like that meme of the guy standing just slightly further away from the camera.
デザイナーにもアイデアを出してもらいながら、足の長さや丸まった時のイメージなど、ゲームの
I don't know if they always had real-time combat. Again, I'm speaking completely out of ignorance here. I'm assuming that this is a relatively recent development.
もう一つの挑戦は楽曲面です。過去、様々なコンポーザーが携わられた楽曲の雰囲気が感じられつつも、
like not just getting this, but also getting it on this stream. Like I said, like Microsoft, they really put the work in. They were like, look. Please, if you live in Japan, please buy an Xbox. Yeah, long segment, but I was thinking like there's only 2 developers left of the announced allotment, and we're only 20 minutes into the stream, so I wouldn't be shocked if there is another surprise still to come.
探索中の BGM がバトルに入った瞬間、アレンジが切り替わる様を実際に聞いてみましょ
う。Those air juggles are reminding me of Prince of Persia, which I was playing before I started the stream. I'm only like 2 hours in, but that new Prince of Persia is pretty dang cool. It's pretty cool.
伝説のアクション部分が強化されています。空中でのアクションがバトルの鍵となっており、 武器での攻撃だけでなく魔法での攻撃も可能になっています。そして本作ならではの特徴として聖剣伝説シリーズではおなじみの精霊たちがいますが
I think the interesting thing for me with this one, first of all, they may not even say a release date or anything for this, but if they do, did they do the Game Pass deal? You know what I mean? I know everyone asked that question 700 times during Xbox broadcast. That's the main thing. That is the main thing. I have bought like 3 games on my Series S since it came out 4 years ago. Yakuza 7, because I wanted something next gen to play on launch day. Mortal Kombat 1 a couple months ago. And like one other game that I can't even remember. Like I literally just use it for Game Pass.
私自身もプレイするのを楽しみにしています。
聖剣伝説シリーズとして初めて
First time, I was wondering if they were going to, yeah, because I was assuming that was the case.
ビジョンズ・オブ・マナは今後も様々な情報をお届けしていきますので
Again, that's not my wheelhouse, but the mana heads are going crazy right now. And again, Xbox is literally just, they are just like summer 2024, no Game Pass. I'm surprised by that. But you know, again, also it's a big IP and Square Enix big studio. I'm sure that would have been a big check they would have had to cut to get that. You know. I actually can't recall what this game. I don't know if we've seen this before. This was the other thing I kept forgetting they were showing. They also put all of the Yakuza games on Game Pass.
We founded
In defense of
in
Xbox.
2013 with our decades of personal experience building some of the most beloved strategy games of all time, like Civilization 5. We came together to
there's
create
Civ
something
people.
new
Okay.
and innovative in a genre we
I
all
just
love.
bought Civ 6 in a Steam sale for like
Our
£3.
history untold
I
is
know
the
I'm going to be
game we
fucking
dreamt of
wretched at that
making.
game, but
Aura is an
I
homage
wanted
to
it.
historic
I don't know
gamers,
why.
Strategy gamers, 4X gamers. It features
I am
all the
too
depth and
stupid to play a
gameplay fans
4X
of this
game,
genre
but
love,
I
where you
want to
explore
have
the
one in case I
world,
get the itch,
expand
you
your
know?
nation, govern your people, and engage with your rivals on the international stage.
I mean, like
And it
literally,
isn't
I am
just
too
more of
fucking
the
stupid.
same.
I will
With Aura,
I
we
will probably
wanted to
boot that up
challenge some of the
eventually and play it for an
preconceived
hour and go, oh
notions about
fuck,
the genre.
what the
Push it
fuck?
forward in a modern, empowering, and truly compelling and approachable way.
For example, we have over 100 instruments on display in the office, which are all things that
Again,
we
Xbox all
purchased
about
in order
expanding that
to
portfolio.
add to the
There are
soundtrack
there are
and
4X perverts out there
expand the game
who want to
and make it
play these
really
games.
good. Hi, Dan. That's Dan. We started in his basement.
I thought it was going to be Sid Meier.
It's
Sid
been
Meier's
an
still
amazing
alive?
process
I
to
assume
see
not.
From concept to completion. We started small, building a robust game engine, questioning our design assumptions, and prototyping out features, rediscovering what made us fall
He
in
is.
love
I have no
with
idea how
strategy
old
games
Sid
in the
Meier
first
even is, or
place.
Meier
The
Mayer.
end result is Aura, the historical grand strategy game that presents a living world where you can rule how you want to rule and chart your own path to becoming the most prestigious nation on the planet.
For Aura, we knew we needed deep systems with outcomes that encourage exploration and give players the power to experiment and make meaningful strategic choices while still having agency over their playstyle.
This
We
looks
also wanted to explore
again.
more in
I'm
different parts of history
I have
and give players from around the
Dumbo
world a
ape
chance to
brain
see the
where I
game
just could not
reflect their
comprehend
unique perspective
even what's
and not
happening
just
on this
ours.
screen. This isn't coming to console. There's no fucking way. Looking at these menus, there's no way you could play this on a console, could you?
See their choices reflected in
Yeah, on a
the
controller, no
not
fucking
just
way.
through numbers on a menu. One of the first differences you'll see.
Although, like
when you dive
everything
into
comes to
Aura
console these
is what
days.
we
Like
call
those,
the living
the
world.
days of this type of
It's a
thing being restricted to
procedurally
PC are
generated
gone.
alternate
But
Earth,
I can't
bursting with
fathom
life.
playing this with a
An
controller.
intuitive, authentic, and immersive space. A blank canvas for players.
Yeah,
to
you can
paint
play
the
Civ, you can
society
play
of their dreams.
Football Manager.
The living
All yeah,
world
all this stuff
isn't
comes to
just a
console
map.
these days.
It
I'm just looking at it
reflects
going,
the
what the
choices
fuck?
players make over the course of the game. They can see everything from the
Like it's
settling
weird.
of the
It's weird that
wilderness
Flight
to
Simulator
cultural
is on
influence the
console,
architecture
but it was
over
a huge
time,
hit.
to
You know,
the thousands of citizens
plays
living
okay.
their
Yeah,
lives and reacting
again,
to
it's
the
cool
game.
that it's there. Any
We want
option
players
is
to
great to
feel
play
like
this
they're
stuff.
truly
I don't know if I'd be
occupying the
racing to
world,
play it on a
leading
console
their
though.
people as they thrive and grow. Core to the vision of Aura is our
I also bought
philosophy
Cities
of rule how
Skyline
you want to rule.
on Steam Deck again
No
because it was
feature
like
better
£4.
exemplifies this
Haven't
than the
booted it up
prestige
yet.
system.
To win a game of Aura, players
That's
will
another
compete with
upshot of
their
buying the
rivals to build
deck
the
is
most
that I have
influential,
become a real Steam
impressive,
sale
and
pervert.
important nation the world has ever known.
Just
This is measured by prestige.
I scroll onto that under €5 tab,
worth as a leader.
and I'll just buy any. I'll
The
shite on
prestige
there.
system gives players the chance to decide what kind of leader they want to be. Do they want to pursue great works of arts and culture? Military might? Scientific advancement? The choice is
Mix?
theirs.
What the fuck?
In Ara, there are no set victory
That's
conditions.
great.
Players get to decide what is most important to them and focus and prioritize on those goals while still being able to win the game.
Personally, when I play Ara, I like to build triumphs. Triumphs are our collection of incredible monuments and architectural achievements from throughout human history.
Yeah,
Like the
I
Great
think it
Pyramid
is
of Giza.
great
They're hard
when you
to
do a
build,
stream like
but
this
worth it,
to
giving huge prestige bonuses and game-changing
hit
abilities
your
to the
different little
nation that
niches
constructs them.
and sell everyone on the idea of whatever your perversion is, we got it.
The crafting system offers
At the end of the day,
unique
we've seen
challenge
plenty
to
of
players that
E3
they
presentations
generally
over the
won't see often
years
in the
from
4X
Sony,
genre,
from Microsoft, everyone except
succeeding at
Nintendo.
balancing,
But
gathering
Sony and
right
Microsoft have
things,
both done the
turning them into
thing
the tools
where
that you need, and then
they spend an
finally
hour showing you
getting
the
to
most
outcome or
bleeding
reward
edge
of something
fucking
like
shooting
an
game,
improvement
and it
or
all
triumph.
it
This
all
changes
melds
the
together and
challenge that
washes over
exists
you,
in
you know.
Aura
So
compared to other 4X games.
having one of those in Hellblade and this and then Mana, you know,
Combining the natural resources they harvest
they're going for the
into all
buffet. They're going for the
manner of
buffet
goods and
presentation, and I
coins.
think that's the best way to
Those are
go.
the foundation for everything, from international trade to improving their cities and citizens' lives, and even manufacturing the weapons necessary to draft military units.
The only game like
crafting
this I have the
system in
brain
Aura
for is
encourages
SteamWorld Build,
thoughtful,
which I'm
advanced
still
planning.
playing.
It rewards players who can see the strategic outcome of all their
But that is like a
collective
Fisher
decisions,
Price city
and
building
not
game.
just the individual ones.
I'm proud of the work that's gone into our simultaneous turn system. Many strategy games have players alternate taking
That
turns
publisher
and
just announced
reacting
they're
to
laying
their
off a bunch of
opponent's
people
moves.
today because
In Aura, all
video
players'
game
actions are resolved
in
at the same time.
2024.
This rewards players' ability to navigate uncertainty, to predict and strategically plan for a variety of scenarios in the moment. This system makes Aura just feel more real. In a typical strategy game, once your turn is finished, you have to wait for a long time. With simultaneous turns, generally speaking, those times are very low. You get to keep playing the game and stay engaged rather than having those periods of downtime where you're not doing anything.
It's not easy sifting through all of history and picking what to include. For Aura, we wanted to offer a fresh perspective, so we looked at cultures and societies throughout the millennia with the broadest lens possible.
Where this approach really shines is in our leaders. Leaders are so often
These
seen as
games love
military
having Genghis
personnel
Khan in
or
them.
prominent government figures, but leaders come
That's
in
the
so
start
many
of every
different
production
forms.
meeting about a
They're
4X
thought
game.
leaders, scientific and
Like,
cultural
what if-
prodigies,
what
and
if you
many
could be
more.
Genghis Khan?
Each leader in Aura has a number of special abilities determined by their personality traits, as well as a powerful and unique leader trait informed by their contributions to world history.
With a diverse global roster, we know players will find leaders that they will want to play.
Yeah,
And even
Gandhi
a
and
few that may
Washington
surprise
also.
them with how fun it is.
We're the
when
Irish
those leaders
leaders.
are handed the reins of power.
You don't want
For
the
us at Oxide, player feedback is the only
We've never
way to
conquered
really
it.
understand what you're making. It gives us that priceless perspective from the people we're making Aura for, you.
Building the game alongside real players has given us that critical player feedback. In the end, we believe this makes for a deeper connection between the players and the game.
One of my favorite examples is when we first introduced the concept of dangerous wildlife to the game. It turns out, in our first iteration, it was maybe a little bit too aggressive or disruptive. We knew we should probably make a change when one of our insiders made a forum post that was just,
Cougars, cougars,
Cougars, I hate cougars!
"Someone get these feline demons away from me." I'm happy to report, based on more recent feedback, that I think we ended up in a good place with the overall threat level of mountain lions to a player's citizenry.
It's been years of hard work to bring you a strategy
That's
experience
funny.
like
I mean,
no
yeah,
other.
I like that they included that.
And we're so excited that we can finally see the finish line. We can't wait for players to get their hands on the
I
game.
think the selling
later
point for this
year.
stream was that
But
we
the
were going to
launch
get
of
to know
Aura
the
is
teams
only
behind the
beginning.
games, but
We're going to maintain our insider program at
little
the
things
release
like
date
that
and
are
continue to
cute.
listen to players
So
and
far, it's
support the
kind of
game
just
into
been a
the
lot of
future.
On behalf of
here are the
everyone at
mechanics,
Oxide Games, thank
you
you
know.
for joining us today. We can't wait for you to play Aura and to create your own history.
Game Pass. A PC only. Wow, okay. PC and PC Game Pass. Fall 2024, also known as autumn. Yeah. Again, plenty of those games have come to console. Maybe it will in 2025 or something like that, but yeah. Alright, indie time, or are we getting another surprise? Indie time. My first question is this going to be a first-person shooter? I cannot imagine an indie first-person shooter, but we'll see.
Hej och välkommen till Uppsala, Sverige, här hos Machine Games. We are really excited to finally be able to share our work on Indiana Jones. Since the first film came out, Indiana Jones has always represented the ultimate adventure.
2D sides were
Even
sick.
today, it's one of the most
I'm playing Prince of Persia right now.
iconic
Hell yeah.
franchises in pop culture.
Swinging with his whip. Let's go.
In this game, you aren't just playing as Indy, you are Indiana Jones. You will see through his eyes and experience a journey that we hope lives
but it's
up
first
to
person.
the proud legacy of Indiana Jones. When Todd Howard first told us about his vision for the game, we knew
1,000 temples, guys. Some of them can be boring. It's fine.
I've wanted to make an Indiana Jones game forever. I'd had this idea for what it would be like and the story,
Todd.
what Indy was going after, what period of his life it was in, what kind of arc he was going to have.
He's still showing his
And
face.
As the years went on, I thought, who would be like the best studio in the world to make this? And it was my friends at Machine Games.
Oh,
I can remember
Christ.
pitching Lucasfilm on the game and being, a little bit nervous because, look, it's, Indiana Jones.
Don't be
and
nervous. They've put
their
out some
response
absolute
was
slop
just
with the Indiana
overwhelmingly
Jones lately.
positive, and just that excitement has bled through the whole project, and they have just been so trusting and supportive of everything that we want to do with the game. It's been a long time. I've been a fan of this my whole
I'm
life.
excited to see these guys do something new, but
to show you what the team here has been up to.
you gonna
Let's
make
take our
you gonna
first
make
look
Wolfenstein
at
3,
the new
brother?
Indiana Jones game.
That Wolfenstein 2 was fucking sick as fuck, and it ended on like a cliffhanger. Please make Wolfenstein 3. I mean, this is also a game where you're gonna be fucking up Nazis. So.
Playing your pointless game.
Oh, they got forward. They got forward. I'm confident of it.
You're wondering if maybe you should have built yourself a life of meaning instead of ending up here, dead and forgotten in the sense of Africa.
Good looking Harrison Ford. I mean, is there any other kind? I guess they already did the process of making a CGI young Harrison Ford for the fucking movies, so why not use him in this? Oh, I can't wait for him being bored as fuck during interviews for this game.
History.
I mean, is there anything he'd like to be asked about less? Well, yeah, Star Wars.
Interpret the past.
Wait.
Thousands of years of humanity's thoughts and beliefs.
Oh, we getting
scattered and buried.
Harrison face, Troy Baker voice.
Just waiting to be found.
You can't just run away from your problems, Indiana.
Watch me.
Wait, where did you guys see Tony Todd? Okay, Wilhelm scream. Okay, we're cooking.
Mankind has built sites of great spiritual significance. If you were to draw a line through these ancient sites around the globe, you get a perfectly aligned circle. I've had run-ins with these guys before. Trust me, it ain't a walk in the park.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
What do you mean if
Oh, he's in the first 10 seconds. Alright, I missed it. Alright, I didn't twig it was him, I guess.
Patron of the fallen angels.
I mean, that is just Troy Baker doing Troy Baker voice. I think Troy Baker's awesome. They got somebody.
The Great Circle.
That looks cool, and I suppose the important thing to remember, what made Wolfenstein 2 so great is that it was an intensely, that was a set-piece ass game. It was set piece ending. You never got a chance to breathe in Wolfenstein 2. That formula is going to work well in an indie
Indiana
game.
Jones
You know what I mean?
is such an iconic
Stunt,
character,
fight,
and he means
vehicle
so much to
sequence,
so
plane
many
sequence, stealth, you know.
Everyone here at the studio has their own
This, I think this,
stories and
you know,
memories.
this feels like a good
Most of
fit.
us grew up with his adventures and have been fans of the movies and the character for years. He's a brilliant archaeologist. He's a charismatic everyman. He's passionate and
Not a
determined.
good title,
And
no.
for us, he's synonymous with adventure.
Now we have the opportunity to tell a new Indiana Jones story for a modern gaming audience. Our game is all about putting you in Indy's
What
shoes,
is that thing he's
letting you
scanning with?
see
Holy
and feel
shit.
what he
That is so
sees and
sci-fi.
feels. For us at Machine Games, we do that best through first person. It's the ideal perspective to bring you into the rich, exciting, and interactive world we've built. We believe that being up close and personal to the adventure is key, making each action feel like your own.
Whether it's cracking your whip, solving puzzles in
I'm very
ancient
curious how
temples,
the whip will actually work
or seeing your
mechanically.
knuckles go bloody in a fist fight. All of these moments are much more intense in first person. But we still want you to have those moments. Seeing his iconic silhouette with the hat, the whip, and so for things like cutscenes and environmental traversal, we pull the camera back for a
Okay, they do not do that in Wolfenstein. That's cool.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is set between Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Does Indy use
and The Last
guns? Yeah.
Crusade.
There's
When our game begins,
there's a
Indiana
famous
is
scene where
working
like
at
a
Marshall
guy
College.
is waving a sword at him,
He
like,
wakes
come
up
here
in
and
the
fight me, and he
middle of
pulls
the
out a
night
gun
to
and
the
shoots
sounds
him.
of
It's
a
great.
break-in and
Fucking
rushes
great.
to confront
Watch
the
those
thief at the
movies.
college
They are
museum.
really good. I don't
The
love them as
mysterious
much some people do,
giant
but they are
makes
really
off with
good.
what seems to be a historically insignificant artifact, sparking Indiana's curiosity.
I mean, I'm a.
Following the
That
trail,
is Tony
Indiana
Todd. Holy
heads
shit,
to
you're
the
right.
Vatican, hoping to learn why this particular relic was stolen, and discovers that things
Um,
aren't what they appear.
I mean, I'm kind of disappointed in first person, but also at the same time, like, that's what these guys do. I feel like it would be like almost risky for them to do something else.
Whatever the end may be.
Mitch references Riddick style. One of the many bits of procrastination I do with the Steam Deck instead of like doing things around the house or working was I got that Riddick game working on it.
When we were thinking about
Because it's not backwards compatible, it's not on any modern systems.
It wouldn't be Indy.
That game is. I never finished it back in the day. That's a fucking licensed game. My god, that is a great game.
Experience we can make is the one that makes you think first.
Might do some of that on stream at some
Sure,
point.
there will be some obstacles that will be more easily overcome with the revolver or a gun taken from a disarmed guard. But I think most of the time you'll have more fun and, to be honest, a more genuine indie experience by finding more clever ways to solve a problem.
We always
I didn't
want
see
to
the
offer
Shia
more
LaBeouf film,
solutions, whether
and I didn't
it's
see the most
trying
recent
a different
film.
path through the environment to get around enemies, observing enemy patrols and using them to your advantage.
Stealth in the Wolfenstein games is not very intuitive at all.
It's an amazing global adventure with action.
I love
compelling
stealth, and I
through
felt like in
your
those Wolfenstein games, I could only do it for about 30 seconds before I got rumbled.
Explore.
So we will
Indy's
see.
journey will take him to the forgotten temples of Sukhothai, the pyramids of Egypt, the snow-peaked Himalayas, and beyond.
We look carefully at each location and the time period the game is set in, and we're trying to make it as authentic and accurate as possible.
We love creating rich, vibrant worlds, and in this game, we also had the goal of making it feel like a true cinematic Indiana Jones adventure.
One of the biggest ways to do that is with the music. John Williams is the original composer for the Indy films, and we're really lucky to have found Gordy Hub, a composer who's been able to capture Williams' essence with his score for The Great Circle.
Yeah, will Indy ride in this game? That is true. They got BJ right in those Wolfenstein games.
Our production style. We use a lot of stunt.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a Wolfenstein Easter egg.
Things like this help us bridge the gap between making a game.
Oh, that would be the coolest post-credit scene in about 20 years if, like,
And of course, our characters
at the end, Indy meets up with BJ Blazkowicz. That would fucking be so great.
Where Indy is pursuing answers just for the sake of curiosity.
Wolfenstein 3
Gina
is
has a
also
personal
Indy
stake
2.
in
Oh,
getting to the
man.
bottom of the core mystery.
Gina is an investigative reporter who has a lot riding on this adventure. She's been tracking a lead for some time, and now she's found an ally in this determined American professor. Their paths are intertwined, and they'll need each other in order to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
Fine.
What do you mean if I can keep up?
We always love our villains and think we
I
might
don't
have
like the
found
voice.
our favorite one yet in Emmerich Voss. He's this intensely psychological man. He's obsessed with the human mind and manipulating it.
That's a great shitty Nazi. I can't wait to punch it in the face.
They're both brilliant people, compelled by their passions and obsessions.
This studio knows how to
And they
make a
know
Nazi
wow
you're gonna want to blow his brains
He
out.
creeps up on you and gets under your skin like he gets under Indy's skin. It's captivating.
Dead and forgotten in the sands of Africa.
One of our mottos for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is adventure first. But in every indie adventure, there are always those moments where he finds himself in the action.
That's been one of those balancing
I would
acts
love it
for
if it was
us,
Michael
and
Shannon.
we've ended up with this sort of hybrid experience that mixes melee combat,
You ever done a video
stealth,
game?
and gunplay.
He must be in
How
something
you
as
approach
Zod.
any given situation is up to you. You may choose to sneak around an enemy patrol, or maybe you'll just pick up a shovel and whack them on the back of their head. And when you can't use your wits,
Showing the ragdoll
you
wigging
got
out there,
Indy's
that's pretty
most
good.
Iconic tool. Just like you see in the movies, one of our goals has been to make the whip as fun and multi-purposed as possible. We want it integrated into every aspect of the game.
You can use it as a traversal tool to make your way around the environment. You can use it as a distraction.
Yes, that's right. There is a movie Zod skin in the first
absolutely use it in
Injustice.
combat.
Very good pull.
Everything you'd expect from Indy's whip, and hopefully a little bit more. Puzzles are a key feature in our game. The spirit of discovery is so important to Indiana Jones. Obviously, there are a handful of puzzles on the main path, but a lot of the puzzles are optional and are just there for the players who want to experience them. Epic traps, small secrets, and hidden puzzles that blend right in with their surroundings.
One thing I love about our game is the level of interactivity that we have. We have this world of mystery where anything could potentially hide a secret. The more you look, the more you'll discover.
What? Wait.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Man, I don't like that voice at
I
all.
want to thank
I
you all for joining us for our big reveal
it doesn't.
of Indiana Jones.
It feels
and the
so
Great
generic.
Machine Games is known for creating these roller coaster experiences with huge set pieces, surprising twists.
It's so.
and
It's
immersive
just.
narratives. It's exciting for us that we have been able to stay
With,
so
with,
true
with Troy
to the
Baker,
Indiana
sometimes you get a
franchise
Joel
and create
performance,
such
and
an
sometimes
authentic
you get a
experience while still being able to
video
showcase
game
what
man
makes
a
us
performance.
us.
You know what I
We are
mean?
making a game for
Like he's been in a lot of super memorable roles, but he's also
franchise.
churned out a million
Because
appearances.
At the heart of Indiana
You know what I mean?
Jones
Like
is an incredible adventure, and I
he can
think
very easily slip into a
that's
very
something
generic,
everyone
unremarkable
wants to be
performance.
part of. I'm also very excited to announce that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will be coming later this year.
Nice,
And we
okay.
cannot wait to share more soon.
Oh, Todd, he's doing a bit back there, you scoundrel. Yeah, this is. I'll be shocked if this isn't the main conversation point, online after this trailer is the voice, because it's nothing, man. It's so nothing. Yeah, Game Pass 2024. Cool. That looks cool. I you know, like I don't know. I'm just really neutral on Indy. I think he's cool, but I wish they were doing a new Wolfenstein. You know what I mean? I don't think we're getting one more thing. I think this is it.
Could take one?
Is it animals, children, and game developers?
Our mission here at Ninja Theory is to craft life-changing art with game-changing tech.
Core to the vision of Ara is our philosophy of rule how you want to
Yeah,
rule.
no sleeping dogs, I'm afraid.
Stay happy.
I mean, yeah, Game Pass.
Creating an immersive
I give it
experience
most
like
things they
Avowed
show
is
to go,
anchored in
you
the
know.
world we build.
I mean, yeah, in a hypothetical scenario where this wasn't on Game Pass, would I watch what they just showed and be like, oh my god, when are pre-orders open? No, I wouldn't.
今作はアクション RPG 聖剣伝説のアクション部分が強化されています。
But that's not the age we live in. We live in the Game Pass age, which is. So yeah, they're gonna do it. an additional stream here after this wraps up, talking about Elder Scrolls Online. I won't even pretend to watch that for a minute.
There you are. Welcome to Podcast Unlocked. You've just watched the Xbox developer.
I'm on the IGN stream, by the way, if you're wondering who this guy is.
I'm Ryan McCaffrey, joined
Ryan
by
McCaffrey.
my
I know.
panelists. Let's dive right in. Not even time for introductions. That's how exciting.
Alrighty. That was all right. You know, you know, one surprise, but not a particular, not a surprise in my wheelhouse. So I'm kind of null on that. Yeah, I don't know. Not much really to say about it. They showed off some games. It looked good. I'm really excited for Hellblade 2, although that is predominantly because I love the first one, and I feel like the audio stuff seems cool, but it's not like they showed you any stuff about this sequel that will like make you fall out of your chair. You know what I mean? Oh, people thought you were going to get the Elden Ring DLC. No. Yeah, I don't think. This just didn't seem like the type of stream where they would do that. It was kind of like, we're going to show you, you know, our developers working on these games. Not, you know, they had a surprise, but not that wheelhouse of surprise. Something about Hellblade there. Hellblade 2 said to be 8 hours, will have no physical release at all. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's interesting because Ninja Theory are first party now, that you would kind of assume they would stick with the traditional route and put out a physical release. But Remedy didn't do a physical release for Alan Wake 2. And when they were asked in interviews, they were just like, because it doesn't make financial sense. We can save money and put that money back into the game to not waste a huge chunk of money on a physical release. And you know, at the end of the day, Hellblade is not exactly a mainstream title. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they're going to hurt their business because, you know, Joe Madden player is not going to be able to get his physical copy of Hellblade 2. I think if you give a shit about it, you'll find it on digital. I think, you know, that's not going to be some Halo 3, you know, pop culture event. I think that the people who want to play Hellblade, I don't think are going to give a shit about it being a, you know, I don't think they're going to give a shit about it being digital only. And plus, I am increasingly feeling like the next wave of consoles will do the. So have you seen the PS5 Slim thing, where you can buy a PS5 Slim digital, and they're going to sell a disc drive separately, right? And in the big leak, the big Xbox leak from a couple of months ago at this stage, the court case leak, I don't know if they're going to go ahead with this, but they were at one point a couple of years ago talking about an Xbox Series X, the more popular one, or the more powerful one with the disc drive, thinking of releasing a digital-only version of that. So I think the next wave of consoles will, I think day one, they will sell an add-on of a disc drive, but I think both of the main consoles will be discless out of the box. And they'll be sure to clarify, if you want to do backwards compatibility and you've got all your discs and you want to watch Blu-rays, day one we would put out a disc player there. But I think they will do that, and I think people will probably kick up a fuss about it, but they'll be proven right. I think the vast majority of people will just buy them and they won't buy a disc drive because they don't actually need one. That was it, wasn't it? Yeah, they said adorably all digital was the terminology they used in that release. So yeah, I'm not too surprised by Hellblade going digital only. You know, I think Xbox might lead the charge on that all digital stuff. You know, they're kind of looking for any edge. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was enjoyable enough. Indy looks good. Hellblade looks really good. The other two games, Avowed, again, you know, not my genre really, but you know, it's Obsidian. I'm sure it'll be good and it'll be well received. I'll take a look at it. And the other two are kind of not in my wheelhouse, but yeah, so a decent showcase. And I like that, you know, it was all stuff coming out this year. You know what I mean? Either a specific release date or coming out. You know, I think we had one game that was just 2024. But yeah, that was all right. That was all right. You know, again, they weren't touting it as some E3 style trailer a ram. You know what I mean? They were intentionally kind of keeping people's expectations in check, and I think they did a good job. And I'm glad that Hellblade is soon as well, because like I said, they revealed that game a long time ago. Then they went very quiet on it. Then they re-showed it, but when they re-showed it, even that was like a teeny tiny little bit of footage, and I was like, okay, like what is up with this? Is this going to be one of those 10-year development things? So for this to bring it back, I'm glad they were like, and also it's coming out in 4 months. So I mean, because you'd have to imagine if that's coming out in 4 months, then they must be on the cusp of going gold like now. You know what I mean? So I think if you're saying in January that it's coming out in May, that's a close enough window that you could probably even say that there won't be a delay. Like this game is coming out, so that's cool. Yeah, good show overall. You know, not a Summer Games Fest level banger, but it was all right.